Guys, welcome back to Infamous Motors Review. It's been a while since we dropped a video for you. That's because we took a necessary break, but now we are back bigger and better, and today we'll be talking about how a car engine works. That's why we decided to shoot from a car today. So have you ever asked yourself about the work of the pistons, the work of the rings, the oil, the fuel, the injectors, the starter, all those stuffs? So today that's what we are going to be educating you about. But first, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also remember to like these videos to help it reach more people. So basically, this is how a car engine works. Let's start with the single piston, the powerhouse of the engine, and work our way outwards. We start with the 4-stroke cycle. So when a piston travels at the end of its range, that's whether up or down. Remember, a piston will travel up and down. That's what we call a stroke. Car engines uses 4-stroke cycle, and it goes like this. First, there is the intake. The piston descends. It sucks an air-fuel mixture into the cylinder through the intake port, with both intake valves in open condition. After this, there is the compression. With all the valves closed, the piston will come back up. It will compress the fuel and air mixture for more powerful combustion. And then there is the power stroke. And in the power stroke, this is where an electrical spark ignites the compressed fuel and air mixture, and the resulting combustion forces the piston to the bottom of the cylinder again. And after this is where we have a connecting rod which will transfer the power to the crankshaft. And finally, we'll have the exhausts. So the piston, it will come back, push the spent mixture out through the open exhaust valves and the exhaust ports. Next, we have the connecting of multiple pistons. And for smooth power delivery, the pistons does not fire together. They fire in turns. So the firing order, for instance, for this engine is 1, 3, 4, 2. Camshafts with specially shaped cams, they push spring-loaded valves open in turn. The cam gears and timing belt for sometimes the chain, it will link everything to the crankshaft. It all spins together. The crankshaft translates piston power out of the engine. It has counterweights to balance against the piston for perfectly smooth revolution. This is what we actually call the RPM. Here we are counting the number of full crankshaft revolution per minute. So the engine block, it holds the crankshaft and the cylinders. And the cylinder head holds the valves, it holds the ports, it also holds the cams, etc. And it's here that a geared flywheel sits on one side of the crankshaft for connection to the transmission or the gearbox. It's also where the starter connects to the system. Our engine here, for instance, it has 4 cylinders which are arranged in a single row. But there are many other possible configurations. Talk of 6 cylinders with 3 on each side, angled in a V-shaped, or even the V8, the 8-cylinder engine. So despite the different design goals, the basic engine parts are all there. Now, let's look at all other systems that supports this combustion process. Number one, we'll look at the air intake. So the air comes in through the air filter, then into the intake manifold, where it mixes with fuel before being sucked into the individual cylinders through the intake ports. We talked of fuel. So next factor that we are going to look at is the fuel. So the fuel pump, it carries the gas from the fuel tank through the fuel filter to the engine, where the fuel injectors emit a precisely timed spray of gas into the intake port. Now we have the cooling. And engines get very hot during operation, and they require a cooling system. A coolant channels around the cylinders and through the cylinder heads and carry a special liquid which is called antifreeze. This keeps the temperature within a safe operating range. It's called an antifreeze because it won't freeze in icy weather. So after cooling the hot engine parts, the coolant will circulate through the radiator. And the radiator has a network of small tubes and fins, and the coolant passes through these channels while the air pulled by the radiator fan, it will flow by the tubes, cooling the hot liquid for the recirculation. Then after this is where the water pumps come in. It keeps the coolant system flowing and properly pressurized. Then we go to the thermostat, which regulates the coolant temperature by either routing the coolant back through the engine or through the radiator for further cooling of the engine parts. And now let's look at the different electrical parts of an engine or a car. So we have the spark plug, which will deliver the electrical spark that ignites the fuel-air mixture for the combustion. And there's a metal coil the metal coil is insulated from the outer metal casing with a material that is called a porcelain. Then it's from there that a spark will jump between these conductive surfaces. The coil pack, it will deliver electrical current to the spark plugs as directed by the ECM, which is the engine control module. The ECM is a computer that directs many core engine functions like torque of the spark timing, torque of the valve timing, and the air-fuel ratio, etc., etc. Then there is the alternator, which works like a power generator. It converts the engine's mechanical energy into electricity to charge the battery and run another electrical system while the engine is running. The battery will provide power to the starter for the engine to start. That's why we need the battery to always be charged. Another important component is the oil. The motor oil is used to lubricate, to prevent corrosion, and also improve the sealing and cool the engine by carrying away the heat away from the moving parts. The rings around the top of the piston keep oil out of the combustion process, while otherwise allowing the cylinder to be lubricated. There's the oil galleries, which are the channels through which the engine block and the cylinder head carry oil to various parts of the engine. Oil flows through the engine and back to the oil pan for the recirculation. The oil pumps keeps the oil properly pressurized and flowing. But when the oil is not in circulation, it rests on the oil pan. The oil filter will keep the oil clean from contamination. That's why the oil will always first go through the oil filter. And the last thing that we are going to talk about today is the exhaust as one of the components for the combustion on an engine. The exhaust manifolds will collect the gases from multiple cylinders into one pipe. The exhaust flows through the catalytic converter, which captures the toxic chemicals in the engine exhaust, and then out through the muffler that reduces the exhaust noise. So the work of a catalytic converter is to capture the toxic chemicals in the engine exhaust, and the muffler will reduce the exhaust noise. And finally, here's the full functioning engine with all the basic system that we've discussed above. Thank you for watching this video. Remember to hit the subscription button below and also like this video. Also, we value your feedback, so you can comment on the comment section below and tell us what you think we should review next time. See you next time.